Hello, everyone. Welcome to William and the Magic Box. Today on our show, we are going to have David. David is from Houston, in Texas, in the USA. So let's see what David has to say. Enjoy the interview. Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay, awesome, awesome. Well, good evening. To you. Good afternoon for me.
How are you, David?
I'm doing pretty good today. It's Tuesday. It's 4th of July here, so we don't have to go to work, thankfully.
Oh my God, yes, today the 4th of July. My goodness. So, how is the celebration right now over there?
Oh, well, right now, because I'm in Houston, Texas, the weather is being Texas. So it's pretty much about to like start raining right now. So I might get like some thunderstorms here and there in like the next few minutes, or maybe after this interview is done. But yeah, we're about to get some rain. They don't really do fireworks until about like the evening.
Amazing. So I love your outfit. Tell me a little bit about your outfit.
You. Well, it is the Across the Spider-Verse Miles Morales out costume. So if you've seen that movie, this is where this one is from.
Wow. And do you dress up very often?
Yes, I do. Whether it be for cosplay events or like conventions, or if it's just for like a small kind of local event, like a pop-up event, or even especially for Halloween, I will definitely like dress up and I'll do like photo shoots in cosplay as well.
Wow, amazing. I was checking your profile and I was like, oh my God, that's amazing. The way you dress up yourself, the way you express yourself as well. I can see the happiness around.
Thank you, thank you. And that's kind of the thing is just like as long as it brings a smile to my face, like I want to be able to bring a smile to other people's faces when they see me.
Amazing. David, as you mentioned, you are from Houston, Texas, yeah? So that's the place where you're born and raised?
No, actually, I'm not from Houston, Texas. I am originally from Dallas, Texas. So it's about a three and a half, roughly 4 hours if you're going to speed limit, drive, and about a 30 or 45-minute plane ride.
And why the change from Dallas to Houston?
Well, when I went to school, I had like started meeting a bunch of new people while I was here in Houston, and I figured I'm like it would be very stupid of me to like go back home to Dallas where like I have no networking like with anyone there whatsoever, and like have to start all the way over again. Where if I stay here, I don't have to start over and I can just continue to grow more.
Mhm. So all your family, they're back in Dallas.
Oh, they're kind of all over the place, but majority, yes.
I see. And what do you do for work, for living, David?
I work for a library system.
Oh, tell me a little bit about your job.
Well, for the most part, I kind of do a bit of everything. Programming, like helping create different programs. I do one where I talk about like comic representation in comics. So
Mhm.
I'll do helping people with like computer help, look for books within like a library and our online catalog and stuff. So it just depends on like what it is people need help with, even like simple computer help questions or how to like start stuff. Like I'll usually do all of that.
I see. Okay, so through the journey, I'm going to explore a little bit more about your outfits, about your life overall, okay? Before we start our journey within the magic box, I would like you to tell me something interesting about yourself.
Well, interesting. Oh man. Well, interesting. I will say that I actually started acting when I was three, roughly. I went to like this, and this is up in Dallas. I went to this like acting studio, and it's like a little program that they had for the kids. Technically, they weren't supposed to like let me in at three. The minimum age like limit was four, but they let me in at age three, and basically like that's how I started like acting and kind of expressing myself. I want to
Mhm.
say where it all started. And from like, like taking a hiatus and then coming back to like finding a new way to express myself, that is how I got into cosplay and getting into like the different characters. It's just kind of like acting.
See, amazing. All right, that's very interesting for sure. David, are you ready to go on a beautiful journey through your memories in life and to share your point of views?
Sure thing. Well,
Amazing. Sorry?
where should I start?
Amazing. Welcome to William and the Magic Box. So this is my best friend, okay? Of random questions. I'm just gonna play a song now just for us to relax a bit before the first question, okay? Let's do it. Right, David, before we start the game, during the join, if it comes up a question that you don't want to talk about for some reason, you don't want to answer, always can change, okay? Right, first question for you is, who are you most thankful for and why?
Honestly, at this point in life, I'm really thankful for my cat. She's my 4-year-old baby. I actually rescued her like off the streets, and I've like kind of had her like ever since. And to be quite honest, most of like what I do, I really just like, this is my kid. I know people say like animals, like fur babies can't be like your real babies, but it's like, no, they're kind of your babies. And she's really like that one like kind of person that's, well, not person, cat, but that has been there like the entire time. Like, and I can never get rid of her. I couldn't be without her. Like, she has like this real special place in my heart. So I'm gonna say my cat.
What's her name?
Her name is Little Bamboo Princess.
Oh, wow. With the name, surname, everything. I love it. And tell me, so you rescue her?
Yes. I was with a friend, and so we were just I was waiting for them, and I kept hearing this like meowing. And I thought it was like my phone, I thought it was like my car, and I was like, what is this? So like I turned my car off and I couldn't, I'm like, okay, it stopped. And then I heard it again, and I'm like, I know I'm not crazy. I keep hearing something. And so then she finally started again, and I'm like, oh, that's a cat. And so I get out my car and I start like looking around, and then like I look in the bushes, and like I have my flashlight. I'm like, oh, this is a little kitten. Like it was like, where are your parents? Where's your mom? And so she came right up to me, and it was just like a really special moment.
Oh, sweet, very sweet. Next question, David, let's do it. All right, next question is, what is the most beautiful thing someone has ever said to you?
Well, the most beautiful thing is they love what I do. And the fact that they have seen me like grow as a person from like starting out, and from starting from when they met me, and like however long they've met me, like known me throughout the years, is they're like so happy to like see that growth in me, and like how much like my energy and like the light has just kind of like started to like shine brighter and brighter. And like I never noticed it at first until I kind of looked in the mirror, and I'm just like, oh, I'm not the same person I used to be. Like, this isn't the same me. And it sometimes takes other people to recognize that you are not the same you. You're like, you don't see it because you see yourself in the mirror every day. But other folks see it and they're just like in shock to see like the change.
Besides your lovely cats, tell me, which person are you most close to?
I'm gonna say my best friend. His name is Gabe, and so we've been like really like we've been like just a dynamic duo at this point in time. He's not a cosplayer like myself, but he kind of has like the different aspects of me, and we do have like so many similar interests. Most of which being that we do kind of do our own little YouTube video segments. He has this thing, and I'm kind of like coming up, and mostly because I'm trying to do it for the cosplay. But he is just like a really, really cool person. And to be quite honest, that's my like ride or die go to person. If there's like one person I'm gonna call, and it's like, Gabe, what's up? What are you doing? Like, come
Wow.
on.
What's the biggest similarity between Gabe and David, and the biggest difference?
Well, similarities being that we both like to have fun, we both like to party, and we both like to just laugh and have a good time. Like that's one of like our biggest things, that we both like to have a good time. We want to make sure, and we're very caring of each other. Or basically everyone around us. We want to make sure everyone else is like a-okay, but also still making sure everyone is having a good time and no one's like spirits are like down. Like we'll switch off the whole like, okay, party mood is over, someone is like having a crisis, we're here to take care of you first. Like I say, as far as the biggest difference goes, it's definitely going to be, it'll end up being like the cosplay stuff for sure, like the cosplay. And then I maybe like job wise, like be a personal trainer. Like back then, that was like years ago. Like a couple of, that's like one, two, and then we also have our own like kind of fashion sense as well.
Mhm.
Mine isn't changing up, and it's kind of more like bright colors, very like out there colors. Like you're gonna like see it from afar, and like it will go with the seasons. And he's like my ride or die, like kind of goth guy. So if ever need someone to give me like that emo, like bring that side out of me, like the emo goth vibe from like high school, that's gonna be it. Or wait, or do
And
you guys first city over there?
wow. And he lives in Dallas, or he lives in Houston?
Lives in Houston.
In Houston as well. Okay. Next question, David. Let's do it. Right, before the next question, tell me, when starts your passion about cosplayer? When you start dressing up? Walk me through a little bit of your journey.
Okay, so we are in the year 2023. So we are going to go back to the year technically 2014. Um, I actually started officially cosplaying in 2015, but I will say in 2014, that was the first time I actually got to dress up in a costume, because I couldn't really do that when I was like younger. My parents were just kind of like religious, and so they were like, "Oh, we don't want to celebrate Halloween." Like I did it maybe once or twice as a kid, and then that was it. And then I'm like, I never got to like experience Halloween. I never got to like dress up in the costumes. I never got to like become the characters. I mean, acting as a character is a different story, but I never got to do all that. And so I actually, my very first one was and it was a very horrible looking one. Symbiote Spider-Man suit, very horrible looking one. And I was just like, okay, let me get this one. And then I ended up doing another one, which was one of those, Party City, if you've ever heard of that store.
Right.
How they have like the very kiddish kind of looking costumes. So you have like a really buff, like cloth Iron Man. And it's not like really armor, it's just like a little like piece of clothing you throw over, like that. And so like I'm just like, ugh, I cannot believe the choices I had made back then. But back in 2015 was like the first official time I started cosplaying. So it was Batman Beyond, which is my very first costume. And I actually, and this is around Halloween, and I actually did another costume with a group of friends, and we did the Power Rangers, the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers to be exact. And so that was what kind of started me on this journey. And so it used to just be like every Halloween that I do like a different costume or a different look, or just something like people wanted to see me in. And so now I'm at the point to where I am doing not just Halloween, but I'm also doing stuff throughout the year. And I'm also going to different conventions, and I might give a presentation, or I might go to a different event and I'll be there for like photos, or even like model and cosplay. Like that's how far I've like come within like the almost 8 years. October will make of this year will make 8 years. So that's like it's more significant. Plus, it's also my birthday month too. So, um,
Amazing. Amazing. Great. Next question is, what is one food you could eat for the rest of your life?
okay, don't judge me. Don't judge me. Um, if I had to like choose and like we're just talking about one food, not like a meal that is like one particular thing, it would be mac and cheese. And it just don't judge me, don't judge me, don't judge me.
No judgment, no judgment.
It would be macaroni and cheese. That has been like my go-to dish. Like just since childhood. Like that is just the one thing that I will just love to eat. So macaroni and cheese for sure is that one thing that I could just like eat forever. And I'll add whatever to it. And if anyone says like, "Oh, that's gross," then hey, I don't need that negativity in my life. Like if you go on somewhere,
Do you like cooking?
I actually do like cooking. I actually cook a lot. I just haven't been recently because I've been going to different. I actually went to a convention on Sunday, and I'm just like, I don't want to deal with the dishes when I could like come home. I just want to like relax and rest. But no, I will like actually cook a lot at home. I actually cook breakfast today, very small one. But most of the time I'll do like big breakfasts, lunch and dinners, like omelets, French toast, pancakes, and
Wow.
even just burgers, Alfredo, like grilling shrimp, salmon. Like I'll do all of that, even a steak.
Wow, my goodness. I wish I could cook all of that. It got cook.
Would say the groceries are a bit expensive. Like now, I hate it. Like groceries are expensive, but I love to cook though. I still love to cook regardless.
Amazing. Okay, next one. Let's do it. All right, David from Texas. Next question is, who is the most influential person in your life?
Um, that's actually a good question because if we're talking about just like foreign or just like anyone that's like there, I never really had one. I could say like I always like I like the aspects of a lot of different characters, and so I never saw like the same aspects from folks, like from just like real people. But I want to say my biggest inspiration as a recent has been myself. And if that sounds conceited, I apologize, but like I inspire myself to do so much more because I know that like this is the me that I would have want to have been like years ago. Like if I had the opportunity, like this is the me that I wanted to be like. I'm finally like living the life of like David from like a 15-year-old, like 15-year-old David, like who wanted to just like be like a nerdy superhero, anime character, like animated all of that. Like I am living the life that I finally wanted. And so I technically inspire my own self. And I'm very glad about that because I know that there is more that I want to do and there's more that I can like do. It's like I'm far from perfect, but I continue to do more and I'm wanting to do more and I'm wanting to like explore more and like get myself out there.
David, when you think about yourself, when you analyze yourself, what's the best part of being David? What's something that you go like, you know what, that's me. I love being this way.
Well, other than like me that does cosplaying, it's just the caring aspect is that
Mm-hmm.
I do a lot of people, and so I don't like to ever see people like just kind of hurt or just like they're not in like a good headspace. I don't like to see that, and I know everyone can like have their moments. Don't get me wrong, everyone like has to go through their moments, but the thing is that I care so much about people that I want to make sure everyone is like, hey, like, are you okay? Are you good? Is there anything that I can do? I like that I'm very caring of people. And I guess kind of the whole like superhero aspect of cosplaying, me as a cosplayer, is that like, yeah, I put on the mask, I put on the suits, but those aspects of like being a hero and making sure people are okay and making sure that like no one's like in any harm, if there's anything I can do to help, like that is the one aspect I like about me, is that I care a lot about people.
Amazing. Ready for another one?
Sure.
Let's do it. Next question. All right, next question for you is, what's the worst pickup line have you ever heard?
Let me see. uh uh, I mean, like, so there are a couple of ones that like I might get from dating apps, like for sure.
Uh-huh.
And like if I ever use like some of the dating apps, people like tend to start off with like their nude photos. That's technically considered a pickup line. Um,
Uh-huh.
and would be someone saying that like, "Oh my God, you're so gorgeous. You're like a beautiful chocolate man." If you've seen the movie White Chicks, like that's what I immediately like get through. What's another one? Um, they'll start just like asking, they're like, "So, what are you into? Like, now how can I get you into me?" And I'm just kind of like,
Ooh.
"Oh, okay, we haven't even gotten to that point yet, but so no, thank you."
One person to go on a date with you, what this person must have?
Okay, so going on a date with someone, that I going on a date with someone, I would say that like the one thing that they have to have is they just have to have a good head on their shoulders. Like,
Mhm.
don't be a don't be like a douche. Like, don't be any of that. Just kind of be like, have a nice personality. Like, everyone's so focused on like the digital age now, and it's like, oh, like this is my personality right here, and it doesn't go like past that. It's like, can we like just a good personality for starters? Like if you have a job, that's cool. If you like have a car, like that's cool. Like you have any of those things, like that's great. Like that's fine. That's your necessities. But like a good personality, just someone that's like a good person, like that's the one thing that someone should have if I'm ever going out on a date with you, because I want to get to know you. I want to get to know like the real person, not just the one behind the computer screen or cell phone for that matter.
I see. Amazing. Three questions left for you. Let's do it. Hey, David, next question is, what made you laugh this week or this month? Something very funny.
Oh, okay. So last night I actually watched a movie called Tu Wong Fu. Thanks to this like Tu Wong Fu. Thanks for everything, Julie Newmar. That's the full title of the movie. And so I like that was my first time actually watching it. As much as I like, I should have watched this movie already like years ago, but that technically was my first time watching it, and it's like a very funny movie because like you have like a part in the movie where you have Wesley Snipes, Patrick Swayze, and John Leguizamo. So you have those three guys in there, and so they're dressed as drag queens the entire movie. And one of the funny aspects is that Wesley Snipes gave his character in there, gave John Leguizamo's character like just a whole like rundown of like what's the difference between like a drag queen and like a boy in a dress, and just like so many different things. And I was just like, oh, that's good. Like that's funny, that's horrible, that's good.
Two questions left. Let's do it. Before the next question, tell me something. I believe that's your favorite, let's see, top three favorite characters, like superheroes. I would say for you, Spider-Man, one of them.
Yes and no. Spider-Man's like technically actually like I do like Peter Parker a little more than Miles. Like they're like it teeters here and there, but I do like Miles's like power set. So you're not wrong about that.
Okay,
Miles there.
tell me the top three favorite ones, superheroes.
Okay. So it is going to be Static Shock is like the number one, or Static. That is the number one like character for me, like for sure of all times. You can't go wrong with him. Number two is going to be Doctor Fate, and so him being like the best powerhouse magic user in the DC universe and the Justice League. Like he is my top favorite, or technically like it is because it's just like the god Nemu and like the person it just can like he possesses whoever like puts the helmet on. So number two. Number three, uh third superhero. Mm, I didn't get this far. If I had to choose like a third superhero, so it would have to be the Robins, like just Batman's like Robins.
Mhm.
Best one, and it's a tie, would be Dick Grayson, who was like the first original Robin and Nightwing, and then Tim Drake's Robin.
All right, so let's pretend that you wake up in the morning and you have three missed calls from all of them, one each. You have three missed calls. Which one would you call back straight away? Which one you'd send back a message saying, you know what, I'll call you in a few hours. And the third one, you'd go like, okay, I can deal with you like a bit later. I'm not gonna reply now. Which one that would be? Tell me. The call, the test, and the one that you're gonna leave a little bit for a while.
So um, it would be Static for sure. Like
The
Static,
call.
like the call, I'd be like, you know what, Static, I am on my way. I got you, man. Like I'll be right there. Like I will be in Dakota in a little bit. Like for sure, Static. Uh, if we're talking about number two, then I gotta admit it's gonna have to be Tim Drake Robin. Like it's gonna have to be the Robins. And that's just because like who wouldn't want to work with like the Robins? Like that's close to like working with Batman. So it will definitely have to be them. Number three, and it's not any hate to Dr. Fate's character, but he can handle himself. Like
Okay.
he in that universe, he can handle himself for sure. But at the same time, I don't want to be possessed by like a helmet with a god inside of it that takes over my body like that. So I mean, I wouldn't respond. I just he got it. Like so like if he can text me, then like someone is there. He has it. He can figure it out.
Amazing. Next question is, what season of the year you feel more connected with and why?
Okay, so it's actually two.
Mhm.
First season is going to be summer, and that's just because a Texan. I'm here in Texas. I do not like the cold at all. Like I get cold super easy, so I can't stand it. And I love the summer because like you can like kind of dress how you'd like. You'd be a little bit more expressive, and I prefer the summer actually a lot more than like winter. Like just for sure, fire. Summer is like my number one season of the year. The next thing I would say is going to be fall. Like it's not super duper hot and it's not super duper cold. But the only reason I prefer fall over the spring, one, my birthday like season. Two, you can, especially here in Texas, we don't get like a true fall. We get like it's still in the 80s and then it drops down to like the 60s and 50s and then it'll kind of like fluctuate here and there. So you have options for like your clothing. You could like wear a nice little mink fur like one day and then you like just take it off because the temps just shot up to like 8 to 85 and now you're in like this whole kind of like sequins kind of look that's like really breathable like or a mesh or something like that. Like you could like do that. So And then like the changing of like the leaves and everything, which can also have like great like photos if you do it right.
Amazing. Wow. I love the fall. As you are connected with your birthday, my birthday as well is November, so it's in the fall. And someone told me one day that you feel very connected with the season when you were born, and for me, it works perfectly because I love the fall. It's one of my favorites for sure. Very top. Ready for the last question?
Yes.
Let's do it. Last one. Oh, look at you. Got to see some moves in the end from you. Before the last question, David, I'm sure when you dress up, when you put your costume, I'm sure there is a feeling, there is something that gives you, some. I'm sure it's a power there that for sure you can describe. So tell me, when you are in costumes, when you feel yourself there, tell me the feeling. Tell me you know what is there that gives the biggest happiness for sure. So walk me through a little bit your feelings when you are dressing up.
Okay. And actually I've been thinking about that recently. So whenever I put on a mask or I put on like the wig, the makeup, like I do the suits, when I put all of that on, the one thing is that like I always choose the characters that like have some kind of aspect or something of me, like just something that I relate to, something that I like about them. And so when I put on these like different suits, like the thing is that I am becoming that character in every sense of way. And again, with the background in acting, I get to like play with the voice, I get to like play with the different poses. And like when I suit up, I have this like whole little like chill that I'm like, okay, it's time to go be that superhero for people that they want to see. And that's the biggest thing for me is that I am finally being that superhero for someone who may like have only seen like movies or they see the comics, and the reactions I get when people see me is just like it's always like shock and awe, it's like happiness because they're finally seeing their hero for the first time in real life, not just on a big screen too. um and once I started to like get those reactions and once it started to hit me, I'm like, I have finally become like this character, like I've embodied this character like to the fullest extent. So that's kind of the thing is like before I step out of my door or before I like come on to like a video chat or like an interview, I get my suits on and I'm like, all right, I'm this character. Like as of right now, I'm Miles Morales, the one and only Spider-Man here in Brooklyn, or like Static Shock, or just anyone, just kind of giving like whole mannerisms, voices, like everything. And like I say, I purely enjoy that whole thing. That's what gets me like hyped up is that I get to fully embody these characters as they are, and people love it.
Amazing, very good. Last question is, what is the nicest thing a family member has ever done for you?
The nicest thing, I'm gonna say is being a big supporter for me. Uh, I didn't think anyone would kind of like that. One, me being in the LGBTQ community, and then two, being a cosplayer, would have like you're seeing like, oh, this is like what you're doing, but this isn't like the standard like what we see like people we do. Like, and so I'm just it was very hard for me to like make sure I was expressive and just like, hey, this is what I like to do. This is what I prefer to do. And if you don't like it, that's fine. But just do know that this is me. And for them to like actually accept me as me is probably the biggest thing and like the most biggest thing like someone could have ever done. It's just accepting me for me, all of like the weirdness, the cosplay, the be walking in the pride parades, like even like again like some of the modeling here and there, like doing all of that, like just supporting and being like, hey, I see you and I love what you're doing and I just want you to know like you're doing great and continue to do that. That has been the stuff that I've been getting from family members, and I'm very thankful for that.
Amazing. Very good. It's not the end yet. Okay, let's play now the word association game. I'm going to give away some words. Just tell one word that comes to your mind. Quick thinking, okay? So, I hope you are enjoying the interview. Before we do the word association game, don't forget to give a like, don't forget to share this video, and also don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Just click on the button right there. Thank you so much and enjoy the word association game. Let's start with family.
Dad.
Money.
Work.
Love.
Ooh. Heart.
Okay. One word for life.
Happiness.
Sex.
Also happiness.
Politics.
What word? Scandalous.
Religion.
Also scandalous.
Fear.
Drowning.
Friendship.
Smiles.
Desire.
Sex.
Regrets.
Also sex.
Success.
Now that I think about it, I'm like, ooh. Those were the first words that came to mind, like just one word. And that last one, I'm like, regrets. Like, yeah, there were a couple of sex partners that just, those were some regrets for sure.
Wish.
Jirachi.
Happiness.
Solitude.
One word for Dallas.
Crazy.
One word for Houston.
Humid.
One word for Texas.
Hot.
USA. One word.
Crazy.
Ooh, I like the way you said crazy. One word for superheroes.
Awesome.
And the last one now, cosplayer. One word.
Amazing.
See. Let's pretend now I'm going to meet your best friend Gabe for a coffee, and I'm going to ask Gabe, define David in one positive word and one negative word only. What he would say.
Negative. Short. Sam Short. Positive. Fun. That would be the word. One word. Fun. I think that's what he was saying.
Let's play now David and the magic box, and you can ask me a question. All right, you can ask me a question now, Dave. David, sorry.
Okay. What made you start interviewing people?
Good question. Right. Do you know that in 2020, when the world literally went upside down with the COVID crisis, yeah? I think a lot of people, they found a way to survive, to live, it was something new that no one never experienced before. It was something that, not knowing. A lot of people, everyone, we were all stressed out. We didn't know what was happening. We didn't know what would come out of it. It was very stressful. But at the same time as well, I believe that a lot of people, they found a way to live in a different way. People, they found things that they were hidden somewhere, and at the time I was already thinking about creating a project where I could connect with people, where I could express myself, where I could let people express themselves as well, but I didn't know how to do that. One day I literally went to the park for a run. Here in England, in London, in England overall, we could leave the house once a day for exercise, to do exercise. And I was doing during the COVID, and I was doing the afternoon, like I was going for an hour, I was running around the park. And one day, literally, this idea came along. I remember the moments, I remember the place where I was running, and suddenly this idea came along, and I was like, oh my God, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to create some questions, I'm going to do some research, some questions, and I'm going to, ask people around the world to see what they think, their opinion on that. Um, and that's how it started. But fun enough, when my friends, people who knows me very well, they go like, oh my God, I remember you doing that, but like as not in front of the camera, but doing that like on our normal days. For example, when I was going for barbecues, when I was going traveling, there was always a moment when I was like, oh, tell me who was your favorite teacher. What's Tell me what was your favorite color when you were a child. So this kind of interaction, I was doing already. So it's something about me. It's about expressing myself. Of course, now I'm doing it in a much bigger proportion because there are so many people around the world participate in the show. But yeah, that's how everything started, literally through a run in the park.
Wow, no, that's great. That's fun. I want to say like COVID is like the time. I say that it helped reset a lot of stuff for folks, and it brought, I think, like the whole it all of that happening, it just brought like that realism, like, hey, like this is happening, like people are like doing this, but you're surviving. So it's like when you go back into the world,
Yeah.
what are you going to do? What are you going to bring that's like different? How are you going to show the world who you are? And I think that's what a lot of people went through, or like kind of had that epiphany, is
Yeah.
that showing who they are, finally they're able to be themselves and be more expressive, because they're like, life's too short to just hold yourself back constantly. And I love that for you. I really do.
Oh, thank you. And yes, I remember seeing people online on social media, personal trainers doing their classes, people doing some arts as well. There are so many things to see, people creating, literally creating things that they were connected with people. Was fascinating to see. And still, I think nowadays a different world, people, they still doing it, people still carry on doing what they started during the COVID crisis. So yeah, it's I'm glad that this idea came along, and I'm very happy about it. Did you enjoy the interview, David?
Yes, I did actually. I had so much fun. Thank you for inviting me, by the way. Like all the way from London. I didn't expect this. I didn't expect anyone to like see my profile, like my cosplays, all the way
Uh-huh.
just across the world. I'm like, oh, someone saw this. You want to interview me?
And now you are in the whole world watching you right now. A lot of countries just see your cosplay, you express yourself. So now you are all over the world.
Well, that's gonna be a new experience for sure. Um, I'm so here for it.
David, before you go, if you can share a positive message, anything that you live by.
Yes, I actually can. I just want to say it's like a positive message, guys, gals, everyone who is watching this video, or interview. If you're watching it live, cool. If you're not, also this is for you. Continue to be. Don't look back. There's gonna be a point in your life you'll feel yourself plateau, and you have to look in the mirror and you have to ask yourself this one question: what potential do you have? And realize that like you being here is that potential, and that there's so much more that you can offer, that you just haven't unlocked it yet. And continue to grow, continue to be yourself. There are some people that will not like what you do, there will be people that love what you do, but the one thing is that you have to continue being you, because somewhere someone looks up to you for being you, and that is the most important thing out there.
Amazing. I love that. I love it. So true. You know, keep being yourself. The right people will come, the wrong people will go, and that's how things, you know, go, and that's how make life interesting. Very good. Thank you so much, and I see you one day in Texas for sure. Okay.
I have my passport. London is like England is like on my list. So I do plan on like traveling eventually, but like I said, I do have my passport, so I definitely want to go there for sure.
Amazing. Let me know. I'll be a pleasure to show you around London for sure. Thanks so much, and we keep in touch. Okay, David. It was a pleasure. Okay. Take care.
Bye.
Bye bye. Take care. So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why would you like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye bye. See you next time.